welcome to StoneMagpie. Thank you for joining me for this whip and chat. I'm still working on the crystal ball diamond painting, and since we last spoke, you'll see this chap here has suddenly appeared, and look, he's keeping his beady eye on my diamonds over here. So as I reached this section, I thought it would be a really lovely one to share with you because it's got such a lot of detail in it. So we're going to work on this one today. I'm not sure if I'll get it all finished within the time that we have, but we'll certainly give it a go. I'm going to leave the black bits of the background just in case we run out of time, because I've got a lot to share with you today. I hope you're all really well, and I hope that you've enjoyed your diamond painting recently. Happy June to you all. It is now June. Wow, this year is flying, isn't it? So I'm going to start with the 8 code, number 8, and it's this lovely deep purple colour. And yes, this canvas is a Diamond Art Club canvas, and the painting is by Stokes. It is the crystal ball, and at the end of the video I am going to show you what I've been up to with regards to the crystal ball itself, etc., because I have been having a little play. So stay tuned. I'm also going to share with you some news of what's coming up in June, and oh yes, I've got little funny stories to tell you. Oh, all sorts of things going on today. So get yourself comfortable, get a lovely cuppa on the go, or a glass of something fizzy, depending on the time of day perhaps. It's a bit early for me for a little bit of fizz, so I'm going for a cup of, I've got coffee today. Don't know why, but I just felt like having a coffee. So cheers everybody. Yes, so I've been working hard at this canvas as well as the mystery canvas from DIY Moon Shop, and I promise that I will give you an update on that one soon too. Now, Diamond Art Club, as we know, are a very firm favourite of us diamond painters, and recently they celebrated their 5th anniversary, 5th birthday, so happy birthday Diamond Art Club. And to celebrate, it was a little bit of a delayed celebration because they were moving, etc. So as part of their birthday celebration, we got 40 new arrivals, and they were discounted as well. So thank you for those offers, Diamond Art Club. Did you get the ones that you wanted? Did you have your eyes on anything in particular? Well, let me tell you that I did. And honestly, they didn't do the UK population much favours this time round. I think they take it in turns who gets the... Sorry, I am just going to cover that with a bit of release paper because I'm sticking to it a little bit. Right. Yes, they didn't really do us much favours this time round because our time slot was 5 AM in the morning for the early release. If you were Ruby or Diamond member, then 5 AM. So yeah, a bit of a shocker, but I do think they are fair in the way that they move that time around so everybody has a fair shot of a decent time. So sometimes, I think we've had an afternoon one before which was much more sociable. Anyway, so I did have my eye on 3 in particular. Well, actually 3.5. I was sort of wavering about one of them. And I thought, well, do you know, what's meant to be is meant to be. If I get them, I get them, and if I don't, then I don't. And it's not meant to be. I'm kind of trying to live my life through that philosophy now, is try not to get stressed and hyped about things. If it's meant to be for you, it will be for you. And it's working out so far. So, earmarked 3. Then I thought, I went to bed last night, thought I'm not going to set my alarm or anything like that. Just going to see what happens in the morning. So went to bed, read my book, had a good night's sleep, and woke up at about 4:50. I'm not kidding you. I woke up at 4:50 and I thought, well, surely this is meant to be then, because I do wake up early, but not normally at that time of day. So I laid in bed thinking, do I, don't I? It's a sign. I'm supposed to be getting these purchases. So I got up, went into the lounge, surprised Monty, the dog, because he doesn't normally see me at that time of day, and he sort of went, whoop. I logged in to I've just changed well, I've put more putty in the single placer end, and I just got a little bit on the canvas there, but I'm finding it's no issue. I'm still using Abbie's putty and I absolutely love it, and it's not causing me any issue if I get a little bit on the canvas. It just happens as it's bedding in, as it were. I blame me, not the putty, because it's my application. Anyway, where was I? Yes, so I startled Monty a little bit, who then got very confused about what time of day it was and where he was supposed to be. Because he sleeps on the sofa in the lounge. That's his bed at, night time. Anyway, I sort of pushed him off and logged in to Diamond Art Club. Had a few minutes to spare, so yeah, I sat there looking at what rewards I might have and things like that, just preparing myself. And up pops the email for the early release. Followed that email into the Diamond Art Club website, and there they all were. Some beautiful, beautiful paintings. Really good choice this time, I thought. A really varied selection, and I think it catered for all tastes. Yeah, I was impressed this time round. And so there I saw the paintings that I was interested in, put all 3 into my basket. I went to have a look at the other one that I was interested in, just to and ah a little bit. And yes, you've guessed it. My top favourite one was Moon Goddess. And that's the one I thought, okay, this has got to happen. This has just got to happen. And so I went back to my basket. I decided on 2 rather than 3. Was happy with the price, because I am trying to save a little bit of money. I'm trying to be a bit more careful at the moment in the money I'm spending. I'm trying to do things a bit more cleverly. So I ummed and ahed. I took some out. I had 2 left and went to check out. Really happy with the prices. And you've guessed it, Moon Goddess was out of stock. So I had that twinge of disappointment in, oh, why did I faff about? Why did I spend, well, it wasn't even 5 minutes to be honest, but you know what it's like at these early releases. Wow, you have to be quick. You have to be decisive, got to get it in your basket and checked out. And yes, I was a bit slow, bit dithery. So I thought, well, I've missed out on my top picture here. So I'll go back to bed, and if I fall asleep and miss the general release, then so be it, it's not meant to be. So I went back to bed, forgetting that it's about half an hour, isn't it, for the general release, and I was thinking it would be an hour. Yeah, So I woke up at 7:30, so it was about 2.5 hours later, and absolutely no chance. All of the pictures, bar one, were sold out. So I've missed out this time round, and you know, I'm being quite grown up about it. I'm thinking, if it was meant to be, it was meant to be, and maybe it was a sign that I was faffing about, that I wasn't 100% sure that I was doing the right thing. And do you know what? They'll come back. So when they come back, I can have another go at it. And if they don't come back, and I'm not lucky this time, there are always, always beautiful pictures to be had. So I've saved that money that I would have spent for another day. And I've got the enjoyment of thinking, okay, that's there, ready for when the time is right. So how grown up am I being? I might just keep logging on, just to keep checking. I've added things into my wish list, and you know, they have the notification, don't they? You can be notified. So there we are. So did you get what you wanted? Did you have a good look? Were you super, super quick? Or was it one of those pictures that you didn't need to get within the first 5 minutes? Were you lucky? If you missed out too, then don't worry. Don't worry. We're all in the same boat, and you know, another time we'll be victorious. The pictures that I had my eye on though were beautiful, and Moon Goddess, I mean, she was just stunning. Well done if you got her. Wow, she was amazing. And the others that, should I tell you? I think I am going to tell you, you know, because if I end up getting them and unboxing them and you know what I had my eye on, then so be it. You know, I can't always keep things secret, even though I do like to tease you all a little bit. But another one I had my eye on was Pegasus by Dakota. And I just thought that was a lovely picture. Now, a lot of blues in that, and the thing that sold it to me was all of those special, they had all the fairy dust diamonds in, didn't they? Plus one iridescent. And I just thought that, amongst all of that blue, would be incredible. So well done if you got that one too. What else? Oh yes, the other one that hasn't sold out, it's still in my basket at the moment. Well, it hasn't sold out as far as I know, whilst I'm talking to you now. It may well have sold out by the time this goes up on YouTube. But was the dragonfly. It was like a, I can't remember what it was. It Aura dragonfly? Aura dragonfly, I think it was called, which was a little bit like a dream catcher. And again, that had the glow-in-the-dark diamonds as well. And I thought that would be fun. So that's still in my basket as we speak, but it wasn't enough for me to get on its own, because I always try to spend enough to get the free shipping. So I usually get 2 kits, if not 3 sometimes, but mainly 2. I tend to get 2 at a time, and that pays for the shipping. So yeah, and I'm not going to tell you about the half one because I don't think it's fair, because I was a little bit unsure about it, and I loved it. There was just, yeah, something that I thought, no, it didn't, it grabbed me, but it wasn't, I've got to have this one. So they were my picks. Pegasus sold out as well by the time general release came round. Well, no, I should say by the time I got up and saw the general release, because I did fall back to sleep again. I'm actually quite surprised I did, because, you know, the adrenaline was going a little bit, but obviously not enough to stop my beauty sleep, which I need. Right, I need to, I think, get some more of these 3350. I've still got some spares in my packets here, so we'll get those in. There we go, this beautiful pink colour. Yeah, and the thing about it is, like I say, there will be other pictures coming out, and there are always beautiful things to be having. And it's not always just about Diamond Art Club. I think their events are incredible. There's a real energy and stir when Diamond Art Club are doing something like that, and it's really great to get caught up in that sort of excitement and the rush of it. It's great. But remember, there are really good companies out there that are bringing out wonderful pictures all the time, and I am going to tell you about something that is coming up in June. I've got quite a bit coming up in June. And one thing I am so excited about is Diamond Art Studio. So Diamond Art Studio I've not bought from before, and I am doing an unboxing. It's a very special unboxing. I'm not able to tell you too much about it, but around mid-June there will be an unboxing, and it is a sneak peek. It'll be my first sneak peek that I've ever done, and I am really excited about it, and it's a very special painting, and I can't tell you any more than that, but do watch out for that. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, keep your eyes on other companies that are doing lovely paintings, working with artists and getting these licensed pictures. The great thing about Diamond Art Studio as well, if you're in the UK, you get free postage, and everything is stocked in their warehouse ready. Everything on their website is in the UK ready to be shipped out. So that's incredible. It's really great for us people in the UK. And if you're not in the UK, then they do offer worldwide shipping, so do check out the website. I have got a new discount code in the description box below for them. It is Magpie10, so you can get 10% discount off the kits. It doesn't include accessories, but the kits themselves, have a look. So that's really exciting. I'm really excited, and I hope that you love it too when it comes up mid-June. So that's one thing coming up in June. What else? I've got, like I say, the DIY Moon Shop Mystery on the go at the moment. And I'm really, really working hard at that now. I'm not doing random sections anymore. I'm going row by row. So I'm hoping that we have a completion on that in June. Oh, now I've said it, I've got to try and make that happen. But I want to start some new kits, so I'm raring to go. Did you see the unboxing for the Dreamer Designs canvas? Supernova. Wow, wow, wow. That one I'm raring to go at. So I need to get some completions done, because I can't possibly have more than 2 diamond paintings on the go or can I? I might. I might just have to. Oh my, so busy. But do you know what? I'm enjoying every minute of it. I love this canvas. I really enjoy working on this one. And look, I mean, so gorgeous. Oh, this little dragon fella is fab. Yeah, so I found myself rather busy, haven't I? I do keep getting all of these wonderful canvases and then thinking, well, I need to start this one now, and then I get another one, think, well, I have to start this one now. So there's still some that I have unboxed that I haven't started that I intended to. And I know you're all nodding, thinking, I'm glad it's not just me. No, it's not just you. And sometimes you kind of think, if they were smaller, I'd get through them, but it's not a rush, is it? It's not a rush, it's just that we just want to start new ones and have that excitement all the time. And it is exciting, isn't it? It's so exciting. So I just need to dedicate my life to diamond painting. I really wish I could, and I know I'm not alone in that either. If only there was a way that I could work on diamond painting full time. How many of us, hands up, how many of us have had that thought? Yep, I bet, I'm going to say 96% of us have had that thought at one time or another. And I think the other 4% are retired. Right, I am going to put those 3 10s in because they are part of the dragon rather than the background. So they will just keep shouting at me if I don't pop those in. And by the way, I know I talk about Abbie's putty because it's my new best friend. Abbie's putty is available on Etsy. However, Diamond Art Studio that I've just been talking about also sells Abbie's putty. So if you're not able to buy it on Etsy, or different scents that you like are out of stock on Etsy or whatever, then do head over to Diamond Art Studio and purchase it from there instead. As I say, I don't think you'd get 10% off with my code because I think that is only on kits. I know I filled in his claws, in between his claws as well. And I may well come back and do these bits as we do the goblet. So we'll go on to the T's. You can see I've missed some K's as well. That was because I didn't see them. So I'll do these T's. Yeah, I don't know why I chose coffee today. Normally I have tea, but anyway, I was in the mood for a coffee, so quite unusual. And I don't think caffeine affects me. You know, people say too much coffee gives you the shakes or gets you all tetchy. Maybe I'm just too tetchy anyway, that I don't notice it with caffeine. I don't know, but I don't seem to have any effects. People talk about cutting out caffeine altogether because of, you know, heart racing and things like that. And apparently if you do give it up, then you immediately start getting headaches, and it takes a few days for the headaches to go. Well, that's not really selling it to me to give it up. But I am wondering whether if I don't have caffeine and just have caffeine-free tea and coffee, whether I would actually get the headaches. Because I don't think caffeine affects me. It would be interesting to do, but then I don't want to have a headache at work. I work in accounts and that's headache enough. And I definitely don't want to have a headache when I'm not at work. So what can I do? I'll just keep drinking caffeine, I think. Let's get those K's in that I missed a little bit earlier. Now, somebody, a viewer, I think it might have been even 2 viewers, suggested to me, instead of me doing my thing where I look at the next code and then fill in, and then the next code in this line here, they said, look at the section and whatever code jumps out at you should be the one that you do next, and then you don't miss the little bits as often. So I'm really trying hard to take that on board, she says, getting the ends out to fill in here. But I really am trying that. Now, what I'm finding is on my mystery diamond painting, that is working really well. And I don't know if it's because it's a black and white canvas rather than a colour canvas, or I don't know, it just seems to work better because now my eye is coming to here to do the 3s. So it's a really good tip, and I am trying to stick to it, but not all the time. Sometimes I catch myself coming back into old habits. Now you'll notice I've changed pen to do the ABs, these beautiful pink ABs. Just look at those. Oh, they're so gorgeous. Now the reason I've changed is because Abbie's putty is great. You can pick up your ABs and it doesn't take the coating off. However, what I'm finding is on the canvas, it's reluctant to let them go. But as you can see here, can you see there? It's just a little bit reluctant. It doesn't take the coating off. It just takes, I don't know. I just find it easier to keep using the blue wax for the ABs. So, just a little tip there if you're using putty or something that is really sticky, because this putty is amazing. It is so good. I tell you, this has only been topped up once, and I mean topped up. It wasn't taken out. I literally just put a bit more in. Since I've been using it, I've only topped up once. So you may well look at this packet and think, well, that's tiny. I'll show you. Look at all of that. I've still got all of that, and taking this off, the scent, I've got sweet peach. It's amazing, and every so often I still get a blast of the scent, even with the putty being used for so long in here. Incredible. I think what I'm going to end up doing, I'm sure, is getting other scents but then putting them into other diamond painting pens so that I can change up the scent sometimes, because I do want to try some others. They are so beautiful, but you know, I'll have to swap my pens out a bit more, I think, to do that. I am stuck on using this pen. I love this pen. This is from Crafted Makes, and it's just a lovely size. You do have to ask for the size to be smaller though, because they do tend to be larger. I'll show you one of my other ones. So here's one of my other Crafted Make pens. Look how beautiful that is. They are pine cones in a gold glitter. I love it. It's kind of like my winter diamond pen, but you can see the size difference here. It's quite a bit bigger, isn't it? Still gorgeous. So I think I will have to start using my full-size pens with the other scents. Let's do these arrows, which is this gorgeous soft blue. That is such a lovely, it's like a powder blue, isn't it? Lovely, lovely, lovely. And I do love changing colours. I just think it's so uplifting to see all of the different soft colours, the bright colours. Every time you change a colour, it's something new, isn't it? And there's something about it, and I don't know what it is. I'd said before, ages ago, that colour therapy is definitely a thing. It definitely is for me. Working with different colours, because I can ooh and ah over this colour, and then I'll change to the next colour and I'll still get that, oh, it's gorgeous no matter what it is. Do you get that feeling too? I'm sure I'm not on my own with it. So I can appreciate this soft powder blue. And then let's go to H. So H is like a gingery, dark gingery brown, isn't it? And just look at that, totally different colour, but so lovely. I always go to food though, that's the problem. These gingery colours always take me to food. Oh, and I haven't got a sweetie bowl next to me today. I thought I'd try and be a little bit good. I don't know why, because really it doesn't suit me to be good. It suits me much better to be naughty and cheeky. Oh, and that leads me on to my story that I have to tell you. Oh, wow, right. So last time I was a little bit naughty and I did a whip and chat. I'd had a bit of a night out. And thank you all for being so kind to me after that whip and chat. Nobody told me off. Everybody was very, very kind. We all joined in a little bit of fun about it because really my placements were terrible, weren't they? I had diamonds going all over the place. And I did actually continue that day as well. I did continue diamond painting after I finished the video, and yeah, some of it is the 310 background and it is a little bit wonky, but never mind. Up above the dragon's head in particular is a little bit wonky. Oh, anyway, yeah, so yeah, that was a bit of fun. And during that whip and chat, I mentioned that that night we were going to the theatre. So, bearing in mind that we'd had a late night the night before, I have to say that I stayed up all day. I didn't go snoozing in the afternoon. I was diamond painting. My husband went to bed for most of the day. Which was fine. It gave me lots of opportunity to just do what I wanted to do and diamond paint basically. So he went off snoozing. At about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I did wake him up and say, you know, you're not going to sleep tonight if you get, you know, the old, what your mum used to say to you, if you sleep now, you won't sleep tonight. So I did that, and if you remember, if you watched that whip and chat, I mentioned that we were going to see Francis Rossi from Status Quo, and he was doing, it was like a little bit of acoustic guitar and chatting, telling stories about his life with Status Quo, etc. So that's what we were going to see that evening. And sorry, I'm just going to have to take my top, not my top off, my hoodie off, because it is getting rather warm here today. Yes, the sun is shining again in the UK. We're spoilt. Right, so yeah, take my hoodie off. Okay, so we were going to see him, and my husband had got us tickets to meet Francis Rossi beforehand, do like a meet and greet. So when I woke up my husband, I said, you know, what time do we need to be at the theatre for? We need to work out what time we're having tea and things like that, you know, the practical things. So he was like, oh, I don't know, it starts at 7:30. So I said, okay, well, if it starts at 7:30, maybe we need to be there for 7:15, 7 o'clock. So I'll start getting tea sorted and we'll eat and then get ready to go. So we had our tea. Ben was home that day as well, but Ben wasn't coming with us. So we had a nice family tea. And I started getting ready. I wasn't getting, you know, fully dressed up or anything, just, you know, wanted to refresh the makeup and all of that sort of thing that you do when you go out. I was definitely not drinking that night. So I decided to drive. And as I was getting ready, my husband came into the bedroom and he said, oh, we've missed the meet and greet. And I was like, what do you mean? It was about 6:15 at this point. And he said, well, I've just looked at the tickets, the information, and the meet and greet was at 5:30, 5:45. I was like, so early? Because he wasn't going on stage till 7:30. And so, yeah, the meet and greets were about 5:30, 5:45. So as we were eating tea, the meet and greets were happening. Yeah, so we missed that. So we didn't get to meet him. And anyway, to be honest, we weren't feeling our best. So we were like, okay, well, it doesn't matter. We'll still go. We've still got really good seats because that was included in the meet and greet. It was like a VIP ticket. So I said, we'll still get a goodie bag. We'll still get our nice seats. So, you know, it's fine. So off we went to the theatre and we spoke to somebody when we got there and got our goodie bag, which was like a linen tote bag. I'll show you. So here it is, a linen tote bag, Francis Rossi, Tunes and Chat. That's what we went to see, Tunes and Chat. And inside the goodie bag is a CD. So we probably would have got that signed had we met him. And so we were talking to the girl that was sat next to us, because all the people, we were in the front row because, like I say, you got the best tickets, and all of the people in the front row will have met him if they'd been on time for the whip and chat. If they'd been in time for the meet and greet. So we were talking to her and I was saying, oh, did you get along with him? Did you have a nice long chat, or was it just in and out? And she said, oh, it was literally, you go in, you say hello and have your photo taken and off you go. So I thought, actually, we have not missed out on too much then. And I will put a picture of the stage on screen for you so that you can see what I mean about the next bit I'm going to tell you. So that was my view, front row. And Francis Rossi, we weren't allowed to take pictures whilst he was on stage, so I have no pictures of when he was actually there. He had a younger chap with him, helping him with his guitar, music bits and things like that, so that's why there were two chairs there. And he came on, and he is so funny, he is funny to listen to anyway, so it was a treat, it really was, to see him. And he was walking across the front of the stage, and do you know, I am a little bit of a shy person anyway. Yeah, I am, believe it or not, I really am. And so I felt a little bit shy because, you know, we're sat on the front row and he's walking backwards and forwards on the stage, and then he takes a seat on the right hand side chair, which is literally right in front of my eye line. So the thing is, I am now quite pleased that I didn't meet him beforehand, and I'll tell you why. Because he was sat, as I say, right in front of me in the first row, and where my eye line was, as you'll see from the photograph, was, yeah, right into his crotch. Honestly, I didn't know where to look. So I was like, oh, okay. So I kept having to remind myself, bearing in mind that we'd had a heavy night the night before, and I was feeling a little bit drowsy, a little bit tired. I think my eye line kept dropping. So I had to keep reminding myself, look up into his face. Look up, stop looking straight ahead, because he will think you're looking at him in it, because you know the way men sit, legs open, and he will think you're just staring there. So keep looking up and stop being shy. Because I was a little bit, not uncomfortable, but I either had to look him right in the eye, like stare him out, or, oh, I don't know, honestly, when I think about it now, it does make me laugh. At the time, I just didn't know where to look. And it was quite a long time, you know. He was on stage, like I say, started at 7:30, and we eventually left the theatre at 10:10. There was a little break, I would say probably 20-minute break, but apart from that, yeah, I was sat looking. So as well, you know when you've got the sort of face that when it rests it looks quite I'm not going to say stern, but you know, you get to that age, don't you, where, I don't know, your eyes don't seem to, I don't know, how can I explain it? Because I'm not a cross person, but I think sometimes my resting face makes me look a little bit cross. So I also had to keep reminding myself to smile a little bit so that I didn't look annoyed. Oh, I must have looked a complete fool, have to say. And also, I like Status Quo, and I know the really, really popular songs, but I don't know all of the songs. And because he was doing acoustic renditions of some of his songs, you know, you can imagine what it was like. There's loads of people there. They're all really major Status Quo fans. And then there's little old me sat there who, you know. So when they were singing, and again, like I say, right in the eye line, so what do? Do you pretend to know the words and just, you know, it's that awkward thing, isn't it, where when you pretend to know the words, it never looks right when you're lip syncing, does it? So what did I do? Did I try and pretend to know the words? Did I just smile my loony smile that I've been smiling all night to keep my face straight so I didn't look annoyed? It was, oh my goodness me. And because I felt a little bit awkward, I think he looked at me more. Oh no. So that is the reason why I was actually quite pleased in the end not to have met him, because, you know, I was in my mind thinking I could ask him to say hello to the viewers on StoneMagpie or something like that, and that would have been amazing. And if I'd done that and then sat in the front row smiling like a loony and not knowing his songs, it wouldn't have been a good look, would it? Oh, these things I get myself into, I tell you. Anyway, it was a good evening. Yeah, I sound like I didn't enjoy it, and I really did enjoy it. It was just... yeah, it was just unfortunate that I was sat where I was sat looking at what I was looking at. But he is so funny, he is a real entertainer, and the stories that he told were great, really good. And they did like a little question and answer session where people wrote questions on pieces of paper in the foyer, and then he would answer some of them. So he talked a little bit about Live Aid, that was really interesting. He talked a little bit about some of the music things that went a little bit over my head about guitars and things like that. Yeah, it was good. He did say that he would be gigging again next year as well with Status Quo, so we'll definitely get some tickets to go along. It would be the first time that we saw it without Ricky Parfit. But yeah, a fun night and a bit different as well. And because we left the theatre at 10:10, it wasn't too late a night either. I literally came home, got washed and got to bed, so I had a good night's sleep that night to make up for the night before, you'll be pleased to hear, which is much, much, much better behaved, isn't it? Right. As you can see, we've been working on the goblet base. Well, I call it a goblet, but it's not really a goblet. It's more of the stand of the crystal ball. I don't know what you would call it. Maybe it is just called a stand. You know, the stand that the ball would sit in to keep it upright. I'm sure that I think there must be a special word for that, because crystal balls are so special, aren't they, that I'm sure whatever they sit in has a special name. I should have looked that up, shouldn't I? Because stand is a bit of a boring name for it. And on this, I'm going to have to keep calling it a stand, but on the stand itself, all of the filigree work that we're doing in our diamonds, really pretty. And then there's definitely some ABs in this part as well to put in. So, have I got any other news? Was there anything else I needed to tell you? Because I felt like I had loads to tell you, and I have told you loads. Oh, now I do know that some of you have been asking to see Mama Magpie again, my mummy. If you saw that unboxing I did with Mum. Everyone was so kind. Really, really kind. And I did go and visit my mum last week. I popped in after work for a cuppa, and Mum being Mum, I just said, Mum, are you in if I pop in for a cup of tea? And that was enough for her to cater. So when I got there, straight after work, she made jacket potatoes and salad and a chilli. I was like, Mum, I was only coming in for a cup of tea. Anyway, I ended up staying and had a bite to eat with her, which was so lovely. And it was great to catch up on her news. Now, Mum, instead of doing diamond painting during the summer months, she switches back to her normal painting. So she paints with acrylics. And she puts special shapes in as well, like 3D. It's really, really clever. So she's in her cabin working on those at the moment, rather than diamond painting. However, she has bought me a partial canvas, and so I've said to her, look, it would be really nice. People want to see you again. People have been screaming to see you again, Mother, so you need to come back and do some more on my channel. Anyway, so I think I've convinced her again to come back on, and we will look at these partial canvases that she bought me. I think she bought me 2. I don't know when we'll get a chance to do that, but I am working on it. So for all of you that want to see Mama Magpie again, I'm hoping to get her back on screen. She's a bit like me actually. When she gets focused on what she's doing, she's ultra focused, and I'm exactly the same. So we'll see how it goes. But thank you all so much for your kind comments and the fact that you just think she's so lovely, because she is lovely, she really is. And as I say, I got my tea that night. I did think, gosh, I'll have to say I'm popping in for a cuppa more often. Go and get fed and then come home again. She is funny though. I don't know if she'll like me saying this, but she does make me laugh because when I got there, she said, by the way, I'm just changing to the C code next. Yeah, when I got there, and she said, oh, I've made some jacket potatoes, we're just waiting for them to be ready. She said, we went out to the shop as soon as you said that you were going to come round. So sweet, isn't it? And she said, and do you know what? I got so excited. She said, I'm so excited that you're coming round to come and see us, that I've got a bottle of fizz. Knowing that I was driving, of course. She said, I'm going to open it and I'm going to have a drink because I'm so excited. So she'd got a bottle of nice rosé Prosecco. She opened it up and she did ask if I'd like some, but you know, I said no thank you, I am driving, as you know. So I think she drank nearly the whole bottle whilst I was there. I was only there for tea. See where I get my naughtiness from? Yeah, runs in the genes, doesn't it? But she did make me laugh. She did share it a little bit with Dave, her partner, I have to say, you know. She did let him have, I think it was a half glass, and it was a little glass. Right. Oh, do you know, she'll probably ring me up if she watches this. She will watch, because she watches all my videos. She's such a lovely mum. And I bet she rings me up and tells me off. I didn't say that you could tell that story. Do you know, I think it'll get to the point where people are afraid to spend time with me because they know I'll talk about them. They'll be on their best behaviour when they see me, won't they? just in case I spill all the beans to you. Tell all the tales. So yes, if I ever do that, get that camper van or that retreat, then just be careful, because you know, I am a sharer. I do share all the fun and games. I can be subtle again, of course. If you said ever, please don't say this to anybody else, I do know how to keep a secret. I am a professionally trained secretary, and so we are trained in the art of keeping secrets. But the way I see it is, if something happens or a story is told, then yeah, I feel like I can tell you. But you see, like I said earlier, I am good if I'm told I'm not allowed to say certain things, or I'm not allowed to reveal certain things until a certain time, like with Diamond Art Studio, then I am very, very good, and I'm not allowed to tell you, and I know that, and I will keep it to myself until the time is right. So be warned, if you tell me something oh dear. So I also had a friend round for a coffee this week. It's been a very busy week. All in all, I also had a friend round for a cup of coffee after work. She came here. It was her birthday last week, so I got some little cakes in, and we sat in here and we had a chat and a catch up. It was so lovely. And I've known this lady for, well, since our children were young, because I ran a toddler group. See, I can be a responsible adult. I ran a toddler group, and she brought her 2 children along, and that's when we met. So we've known each other probably 20 years or so. And she came over and had a drink with me, and we caught up on our news. And she's the sort of friend that you don't see for a long time, and then you just pick up where you left off. You know, one of those types of people. It's really, really special. And I hope that you have somebody like that too. Cheer up your day, catch up. There's nothing like a good girly catch up. Right, I can see that I have missed some F's. And you see, I did do that where I was looking to see what spoke to me, and I still missed some, so there we are. It does happen sometimes. Right, what I'm going to do, because we're running out of time here, I am going to fill in these 3 10s and the ABs, and then I want to show you what I've done with a little bit of the canvas further up, because I did promise. So let's get these in. So I'll just put the 3 10s in around these red ABs, so that we can see that detail. So I am sorry that I didn't get to finish the whole section with you today. Okay, let's get the number 2 ABs, which are the red ones. Put my pen back. Put these into place. So these are like the jewels, aren't they, encrusting that goblet stand. just missed doing that little bit. Right, now all of those number 1s are ABs too. Do I have time to pop those in? Let's hope so. These are these gorgeous, gorgeous ABs here. They're on like a tan coloured background. They are so beautiful. So let's get some of these in so you can see them picked out. And you know, I've got so used to using my 5-placer that going back to a 4-placer actually feels quite strange, because the 4-placer used to feel quite big to me, multi-placing, but now I'm using a 5-placer. Even if I don't always place 5 diamonds with it, it just makes this 4-placer feel quite small. Funny what we get used to, isn't it? Where we can use something for a long time, move away from it, and then suddenly it feels unusual again. And as you can see, I'm using my multi-placer even to place the singles, because I haven't got a lot of wax in the end in my single placer there. So using the corner of my multi-placer to do that. I may not even fill all of these in. I just wanted to give you an idea of how lovely this is all going to look when it's filled in with the ABs. I think what I might do is, so I definitely want to show you further up the canvas on the crystal ball and on the finger that I talked about last time. So I will continue putting the ABs in, and I'll probably put a photo at the end of this video to show you that once it's filled in. Let's do it that way. Okay. So last time we spoke, I mentioned about the crystal ball and the fact that I really liked the idea of putting crystals in it. Now, one lovely viewer mentioned about trying crystals, because I have spare round crystals. So what she suggested was to put in some rounds to see how I felt about crystals and whether I liked it before buying some square ones or thinking about how I would use them. And I thought that was a really good idea. And as you can see here, I have laid down some crystals. So I've got some black, some grey, some lilac, some orange and some pink. And what I did, I got my colours and I looked at the Y code and thought, okay, that's the colour, so they're the dark, that's the black crystal equivalent. And next to it is the E code, so the E is slightly different. They look quite similar, but I wanted a definition. So they're not exactly the same. With that I wrote down, that's that beautiful powder blue, but I had to try and use a lilac. Now, when I came to the tick sign is a pink, but it's a different pink to this one. And so I think that's where the idea might fall down, is the colours of the crystals may not match the colours that are supposed to be in the diamond painting. So although I love the crystal finish and I think it would look incredible to have the crystal ball as crystal, I'm still thinking it may not work because of the colour blends for the whole thing. So I might just have to do some touches here and there to suggest the crystal rather than have it crystal. The other thing I wanted to show you was the finger. Now, you can probably see that I've started working on the finger because it was so straight to give it a bend. So I'll put the picture of what it was before I started changing it. And if you look at it now, you can see that this bit I still need to work on, but I've started to create a little bit of a bend on that finger. So hopefully it will work and I'll be happier with that. I think it's looking a lot more successful already. So let me know what you think on that as well. I would really like to hear your opinion. Right, everybody, that is today's Whip and Chat. I'm so sorry I didn't finish the section, but I do promise I will put a photo at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you've had fun with me, do consider liking, sharing and subscribing. It is always appreciated. Thank you so much. I hope to see you again next time. In the meantime, enjoy your own diamond painting. Take care.